Let's take a look at 9 different Star Wars style alternate builds that you can make using only the pieces from the LEGO Creator Set 31160, and that's race plane. This is a 3-in-1 set, and so for the original build here, well, the original build is this plane, but there are also already some alternate builds included in this set. So LEGO actually includes instructions inside the box for you to build all 3 of these. So that's very neat. And it does also mean that we have some parts in here that are very kind of multi-purpose. So we sort of know that immediately since it's one of these 3-in-1 sets. But let's look at these Star Wars style builds. Okay. So first up, this one is a Z95 Headhunter by MasterBrickSeparator. We've got that nice long nose to the ship. It's got a little bit of that X-Wing kind of vibe to it, but this is a Clone Wars era ship. I really love the patterning with these triangle tiles in the rear of the ship. And this alternate build does include a build for this stand as well. There we have the engines. All right, so this was the Z95 Headhunter by MasterBrickSeparator. First alternate build. Now next one, okay, look at the wingspan on this one. So we do have these wide wedges, and they're put to good use in this alternate build. This is an N-1 Starfighter by Dafeld. So we have the kind of, I mean, it looks kind of cool with this color scheme, honestly. Those Naboo Starfighters are yellow, but I'm kind of digging this dark blue and, you know, sort of turquoise look to it. And we even have the cockpit here and the droid. And we can try spinning because that's a good trick. Okay, so this was the N-1 Starfighter by Dafeld. Okay, this is a pretty compact but detailed build here. This is a Republic Venator by Revenge of the Brick. Very cool. Clone Wars era ship. Nice use of all of these slope pieces and just the finishing pieces. You can see there are very few studs visible on this build, so it creates this very sleek appearance. There's a good spot at the bottom of the build too for you to zoom the ship around, which is always a nice thing to look for as well. All right, next up, we're staying in the Clone Wars era here. So this is Plo Koon Starfighter alternate build by neyobuilds. And, you know, the LEGO just released a microfighter version of Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter, so it's sort of front of mind, I suppose. But this is a nice job capturing the look of that. And also the color scheme. This set comes with the right colors for that, which is pretty cool. That dark blue with the white accents. We got the droid up front and the cockpit back there. Nice tail section as well. Here's the bottom. So yeah, so that was Plo Koon Starfighter alternate build by neyobricks. Now when we move to the back row here, you may see a trend with these next 3. I'll talk about maybe all 3 of them around the same time first. So we have 3 different, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just, it does stand with this stand here. I'm just kind of bumping into it. We have 3 different Falcon builds back here. And you can see there's different scale, and they're all a little different. So the first Falcon is by SaffronHaas. The second is by Revenge of the Brick, who did the Venator also. And then the final Falcon is by stanisi. So you can see this one is by far the largest, this first one by SaffronHaas, and that's because they use those large wedge pieces, which are great. I mean, that really captures the look of the iconic forward. Oops, I'm knocking all the stands over. Let me move that to the side. It just captures that iconic front of the ship. I do like the use of the cockpit here, you know, even though it's not that dome shape, that's a nice use of this piece there. And it's kind of surprising because there is a dome included in this set too, and that's what these smaller builds use, but I do like the use of it there. There's some nice detailing with these triangular tiles, and then also the slope pieces. And you can see that the designer here also chose to kind of angle those out. It creates a sort of layering effect, and it creates some different lines in the build. So here is our largest Falcon out of the pieces from this set. And then here are these two smaller ones. You can see they're pretty much, these two are at about the same scale, but the one on the left here, which is by Revenge of the Brick, it uses these nice smooth round tile pieces to create a very defined border. And they also utilize some of these blue pieces, whereas this other slave, or not, I'm sorry, this other Falcon rather, getting ahead of myself, is the one by stanisi. They opted to make it more monochromatic, so it's just white, gray, and black, although there is a little pop of yellow right there. So very cool. And that's when, you know, whenever somebody says, oh, well, all of these, you know, all of these creators are taking inspiration from the same vehicle and they're all the same. Well, no, they're really not all the same, and you can tell that by these three different interpretations right here. They all have kind of these different details included. So it's always fun to see what people come up with there. Okay, and we're getting towards the end. This is by far the smallest, oh, excuse me here. By far the smallest build. Let's just fix up that wing there. There we go. This is almost like a mini set. So this is Jango Fett's Starship, so it's Slave 1. Very small, fast build, so you're only using a few of the pieces, but it's very cute. And of course it would be Jango's, right? Because we have the blue color scheme rather than Boba's. And that is by the designer Justzilla. Okay, last but not least, this is a ship that I made myself. So this I'm calling a Republic Starfighter, and it takes some design inspiration from the Jedi Starfighter, you know, with the sort of forked front to the vehicle. But then in the back, this part in the back kind of takes some more inspiration from some of the larger ships, quite honestly, like Star Destroyers and that sort of thing. They tend to have a raised tail section. I do like the effect when you look at this vehicle straight on. It looks kind of like there's these eerie eyes looking back at you, and it also looks kind of like a menacing larger ship. But I envision it as a starfighter with the cockpit right there, maybe a droid right there. Here's the other side. The menacing eyes are actually just this one plate here. But this is a fun color palette to work with too. And I like the little pop of the yellow as well. All right, well, that is all of the ships here. So these are 9 different alternate builds, and you can make these using the pieces from the Lego set. Let me bring that box back. It's all from this creator set 31160 race plane. And also, you know, feel free to make your own alternate builds. They're just a lot of fun to make. I originally just kind of built what other people made, but have been really enjoying making my own original alternate builds as well. It's a lot of fun, and it's something you can do with Lego that you can't do with everything else, right? So feel free to comment below.